Hello everyone, Chad here, and we're back with Evil Genius. We're in with Alexis, and she's got this wonderful fellow here, Eli Barracuda. Now, just to let you know, I'm playing with the unofficial patch. That gives me some advantages with numbers, as well as putting things like turrets inside, all that kind of funky good stuff. So what we're going to do first thing is we're going to create another exit over here. Now what this is going to be is this is going to be like a link corridor between the two sections of the base. Now the reason for that is the Uber trap's going to go here. Now before that actual Uber trap goes in there, we need to build a barracks. So we'll actually have to make that a little bit smaller, like that. And then build in the, what would be essentially the area to where the Uber trap goes in. Now, it could be that we just need to build that out like that a bit more. So let's have a look, because we want it like that. Now what we want to be able to do is be able to put the sort of jets there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they'll probably have to go back one more like that. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, okay, and then they'll sort of be like that. So that's looking okay. Now the reason we build that is because that's going to be the primary sort of location of the Uber trap. Now we probably need to make that a little bit thinner like that. No, actually no, we're right, because it's like 3 across, 3 and then 3 and then 3. So we should be okay. Now this is going to be the entrance. Now what we're going to do is you're going to put that up to 5 to get 5 of those fellows in. Ah, look. We'll deal with those guys later. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to build a nice entrance. Now, the reason we're going to be building this entrance is to essentially make it difficult for enemies to get into our base. Now, the idea is we sort of build like that. It's going to be that there. So, because we're going to build like a little sort of rest area here. Now, the way we're doing it here is that it means that we build lots of sort of doorways along here like that. We can leave one less there. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we're going to make these ones sort of like level 4 doorways, and as a result of that there will be guards standing in front of them. So we'll do that there. And you can see they're building that first corridor now. Now we will end up building some other stuff here, so what we need to do is have a building along there like that. And there's going to be a sort of section that's going to be a little bit ugly, but that's what it's got to be. It's going to be coming through here, and then you'll get into the main areas where the barracks are going to be and all the rest of it. But predominantly, this is where we're going to sort of take out like that section there for the Uber trap. And so they're sort of like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, blum, blum, yeah. So it should be okay, hopefully. Now, it means that obviously that's going to be out of there for when we build the barracks, because we need to build the barracks early, really, because we need to get the extra forces in as quickly as you possibly can. Now, what we'll also then do is we'll create a doorway there and a doorway there, because we're going to get rid of that corridor eventually. So to control access to the main base, we're going to put in those 2 doors, and then what we're doing is we're just putting doors all the way down like so. Now that means then that that's where the soldiers can go. Now for those of you who have forgotten, who haven't played it for a while, you can lock in certain positions. So if we go into this position, do Control 1. If we move anywhere else on the screen, press 1, it will take us back there. So that's a helpful thing to know. Now, we'll put up a couple of fire extinguishers, and we'll put a couple in here as well. We don't have any people to do that yet, so we're not worried. Now, this is going to be where the sort of the 3 width corridor, the main corridor, that's going to be sort of the main egress area up and down the base. Now, what we'll have to do is bring that in there like that. Now, there are going to be certain areas that are going to be down to sort of 2 levels, but, you know, that doesn't matter because it's going to sort of come down to about there, and then they go across to about there, and then you can see, keeping the consistency. So that's essentially all the way round with all the various things in that we'll need. So that's not going to be built yet. We've got to wait until we've got the armory, which we'll get after dealing with the troops that are on here. Now, predominantly, what we're going to do is we're going to build loads of these things in here. Now, the reason we're doing this is to get the largest number of people. Now, what we're going to be doing is, in order to get this large number of people, we have to put all these in. And then once they're done, we can send them out into the world using a control room, which we'll build temporarily here. Now, why we're building it temporarily here is because we literally just want it to run. And we want to be able to send people out into the world to start stealing stuff. Now, one thing that's slightly advantageous is that if for whatever reason you do not take out or do not capture the maid who's going to be wandering around here. Let's have a look at our thing. See? Yeah, we've got to kill them in order to get the bits and bobs that we need. So like the freezer, which is going to go in here, and then the barracks around it. But essentially, oh, look at this. Let's speak of the devils. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy in, and he's just going to come in and kill all of them. So he's going to, Eli is going to come in and do devilishly and evil things to them. What we're also going to do is we're going to put in a area like that for the gold. And there you go. So we get the freezer there as soon as we've started killing these people, and we're getting the bits and bobs. So let's get the freezer in. There you go. Agent's been killed, leaving a body bag. So we build it like this, and we build it as a 3, like so. Now, there is a reason for that. It's because we don't require a huge amount of space for the barracks. Sorry, not the barracks, the armory. But we will need the space for the freezer racks. Now, these freezer racks here, we've got to actually change this here because we can't have a 3-way door there. Because we want to have a door in there. Now you can see it's still only up to 5. So as all of these get built, it will reduce. So let's turn some of those around. Like so. Because what we want to be able to do is still build a few bunk beds like that. So we're going to put more of these in here because these are what going to give us majority of the people that we need for our evil plans. So let's do that and that and that and that. So essentially what we do here is we put freezer racks in. Actually that one can go down 1 like that, because you want to get in as many freezer racks as you can, because you're going to have a lot of dead bodies. But we'll have to leave a gap there so that they can get in and out of that room. So it's you know, just progression and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's not looking too bad, I'd say. We don't have a huge amount of people. That may change over the course of time, as you can see. And we got 196,000. Now, what we really need to do is get to a situation where we've got the Uber trap running, and that's generating us money. That's going to be a majority of where our money is going to be coming from. What we'll do is, before it's finished, we'll put those 2 in ready. And we'll put these 2 in like that as well. Now they're in ready to go for the Uber trap, so when we destroy this room, once we get further down here, probably down to about here, then we can put in this particular area. So you can see, there we go. I'm sure minions carry acting with me. So essentially, if we don't capture the maid straight away, we can put people out onto the world map, and they can steal money, and no agents will turn up. So it's a way of getting sort of free money. It means you have to leave the game running for a while. But obviously we'll cut that bit out, because that'll be uninteresting for you guys to just sit there and watch. So you just have to wait. So there's our evil genius, our lady there. She's humming to herself in a sinister manner. So, really lovely lady there. Now, so it means anyone who wants to go through there will have to go through sort of multiple ways. We might actually just take that one out so it gives a bit more space. So they can come in here and then through there. So let's do that one as well. So essentially they'll just make their way through here and blow everything up as they need to. That will slowly increase, you can see. There you go, 25, see? So what we'll do is we'll just steal. So we're moving this up to say recruit for 4,000 every second, just to get this up the numbers quickly so that we can play around with things. I think once that gets down to about 100 thou, if we don't hit the limit, we're going to be alright. Leave it at that. So there you'll see loads of new peeps come in and then start grabbing the money to grab the equipment to start putting the stuff together, which is what we need. So that's going to be the situation there. And we're going to be like power down the side here. And this will probably be where super agent containment room will be. And other bits and bobs like that. So let's see. So once these get built, then the freezer racks will get put in and all the rest of it. Predominantly, this is the main one being built. Now, one thing you can do, for those of you who are not aware, is you can take your super evil genius and then right click on that, and then basically she will say, that's the priority, you need to build this.
Oh yars.
Oh yars. Come on, girl.
Ahead of you, darling.
What?
Nice. Make way for me.
Come on.
Nice.
God, why isn't she leaving?
See what happens if you're not nice to me?
Well, that's interesting, because she can't flipping well move right now, so there's a good chance that she's blocked in, so we'll have to wait until stuff is built before we worry about moving her. But we're going to want to sort of move the gold into here. So I think what we'll do then is put that in there like so. Oh, there we go. She's finally moved. So that's all good. So let's see. She'll
Way ahead of you, darling.
wander around here. So you can, there we go, you can see that bit there. We can click on this.
I've got my heart set on this.
And as soon as she marks this as a priority, you can see it's lit. So that means somebody's just put a sign to it. See the sprinkles around it. Basically indicates that this is a priority. And you can right click on it and then select the question mark, and it will show you who's the minion who's actually working on the building of it. So helpful little things to find out and learn. So you can see most of the stuff here being built. There's that additional door for when we get rid of this corridor. Can't get rid of it because of them, or at least not yet. So that's how it looks right now. And you can see now that the control room is being built. We've got 57 men available, so we can put this up to 57. Like so. We're going to leave it just to getting one every 60 seconds. Because it doesn't cost us any money to do that, and I don't want to spend any more of this money right now. So once this is online, or once these are in position, then they will be able to go out into the world, so to speak. There you go, 65. So that's as many as we can have right now based on that. Which is fine, 65 is still pretty good. So now you can see.
I don't care how many men it takes.
Apparently not, no. Here we go. Clap, clap. Do that for me.
Oh yars.
Yars. How lovely. So, that's the design that we're looking at, sort of. So, and the reason these are... So there you go. So look, can't afford the room. Damn. The reason that these... Now we're going to be able to... There we go. Phew. The reason we're going to be able to put... We've got level 3 stuff, is we'll be able to put stuff through the center here and put items in the center to enable them to essentially sort of be seen all around the whole kit and caboodle, so to speak. So first things first, we're on the main screen, so we're going to put 2 in each of them. Now these, the Middle East, always a good area, and these two as well. At the moment, all we're worried about is just generating money. So we can leave it at that. So they'll all be transferred out. You can see all being boated or helicoptered off any minute. And you can see we got new objectives, civilians, capture the maid. So the maid will be shown as a pink item on the mini-map down here on the left. That means then there she is. So there's the lovely maid. But we're not going to touch her at all. She will be left to her own devices. Now this is where we put in the armory. So there we go. There's the armory that's going to go into that position. Now that armory means then that we can put in one of these, and we can put in a time clock. Now the time clock,
Minions will automatically start working in a room, but you can control this more precisely by building a time clock.
there you go. So you control how people get in the room, stay in the room, do all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, I've got people going out to almost every single location, and still got a reasonable number of people still to come in over the course of time. So it means then that while these guys are twiddling their thumbs and doing stuff, we got to build some power. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build the power plant all the way down the side here. So this is the only power generator that we've got available to us. So we're going to set them all up along here. And, whoops, like that. And then we're going to put in some batteries. Now the batteries will enable us to, essentially, if we have a power outage, that we'll be able to deal with it. Sort of, it'll keep the power on for a short while until the battery is fully discharged. So that's really it. Now you can also see here how many lives he's got. If he goes up against a super agent, he could lose one of those lives. If he loses all of them, he dies for good. And there's some additional skills that our boy can do as well. So that's how it stands right now. Now you can see that at the moment we can't afford the room because we've only got 50. Now for those of you who are not aware, there's the alerts. You can press it once to put it on alert. Press it again and it will silence the alarm. Now the yellow alert basically means that all minions will arm themselves. So if you have the ability for them to pick up weapons, which we will put in here eventually at some point, when we get the option to unlock it, means that they will then all pick up pistols, and they'll be able to use those pistols against the enemy. So until that occurs, we don't have to worry about it. Now you can see we've got 6,000, which is pretty good, and we're getting 6,500 every single hour, or every single, yeah, is it hour? No, every 60 seconds, so not too shabby really under the circumstances. So that'll help just bring out the money, and as we get additional people in, you can see we can increase that number and then put more people out here. So as there's more people stealing, so like here for example, there's nobody there, there's nobody down in that area as well, and there's nobody in there, is that we can put more people in and they'll be able to steal more. So that number can go up to as much as 20,000 every minute. And then you essentially just literally go and twiddle your thumbs for a period of time while it builds up a little bit of money. So you can build up, you know, 300k or even 1 million if that's what you want to do. to give you a little bit of leeway to play with. Just makes things a little bit easier later on down the line. Here we go, in comes the helicopter. Landing with additional resources, money and all the rest of it. And people as well. There you go. And then that's going to fly off once it's unloaded. See, there we go. There's some of our minions going off to the world map. They should fly off any second. There we go. Off she goes. So, you can see now the gold room is going to be built. Once that's built, we can delete this room. We won't be able to delete it until we get rid of that. So the briefcase rack will be brought into here. Once that's done, we can then delete that particular item. So, at the current moment, power is the problem. Hence the reason why we've got all these things going in. And as you can see, we cannot afford the room at the current moment, which is slightly annoying. But this is one of the things that we just have to wait. See? 7,100. So, you can see now the additional bits and bobs being brought in. Those will be the doors. There you go, see? Now, until we actually have a guard or somebody equivalent of a guard level, so one of these guys up top, so guard, mercenary or whatever here, then you won't have people who will be guarding these doorways. And you can see now I'm setting them to level 4 doorways, so that as soon as the guard becomes available, even one of your sort of henchmen will go and stand in front of that doorway and will then guard that area. So the idea basically is that the enemy comes in, this corridor will be gone, is they come in and they walk down this corridor that's got loads of guards in it and everything associated with that, fun and games. So it's our way of sort of protecting the entrance. So there we go, there's some more explosive going in for that room, which is helpful. So yeah, I mean, literally it's just a case of waiting for everything to get built. This is where the sort of the gameplay tends to drag for a little while, because there's not really a huge amount you can do. You've got to wait to generate the money so that you can actually start to do other things. Obviously, fortunately, blowing out all these, demolishing all this stuff will not be that expensive. And also bear in mind, depending on what the difficulty level is, means also it varies how much the items cost you. So rooms, bits and bobs, so you can see there, each of these power generators is 10 grand. Even the doors are expensive. So it all adds up. Now what we might also do is just stick another sticker door in there as well. So we've got the option. Now what we're also going to do, we're leaving that area sort of open because we're going to put like a rest area there, so that these guys don't have to go all the way down to sort of here or here to rest. They can just go to this area at the end of the corridor and rest as quickly as possible. Because you can see all these guys have stats. So you can see health, loyalty, smarts, attention, and endurance. So you will have the option of sort of refreshing some of those stats. And if they're just standing there, you can see some of their stats, like their attention, their endurance tends to go down a bit and all that kind of stuff. So you want to try and reinforce that if you can. And obviously having the bit down here for them certainly helps. So there you go, you can see them now building that extra section of corridor. I mean, that doesn't look great, it's not ideal, but you know, it is what it is. They can still get through. You can't do curved corridors in this game, unfortunately. Whether or not you'll be able to do in Evil Genius 2, who's to say? But I hope to find out at some point. So there you go, we're still at 65 capacity, we're only at 37 people. And we're still getting 7,100, so we've got no people in there. One person there. Two there. Oh, we've got nobody there. And we've got nobody there. So, one thing you can do, F5, quick save. Make sure you use it because this game does crash frequently and often. Now, Hotel Hub. These are things that you can actually build later. So you can build them outdoors. See, look, hotel wings to essentially amuse the tourists. See, Hotel Hub. All that kind of stuff. I never bother with it, to be honest. Because it's my island. I don't want people here. I don't want tourists here. I have absolutely no intention or interest in having them here. So, you know, anybody who's a tourist who comes to this island, pretty much guaranteed to snuff it. Usually in a hail of gunfire, but you know. It just means that the app to travel agent rating, on TripAdvisor, it won't be very good. Maybe 1 star, maybe not even a star at all. Because, it's a one-way trip. But never mind. I am supposed to be an evil genius, so it's only fair. Now, what we're also going to do is build a barracks room here. Literally, it's just as big as we can make it. Cut the edge off like that. And there you have it. So that's where that barracks is going to go. Once it's built. And then all of that can be moved down. And we can then build the Uber trap in that position. So that's the plan. And you can see now that they're starting to build. So slowly but surely. There you go, see 8,500. The money's still coming in. There you go, put another one out there. And you can see also the once you've got people in the control room, you can tell exactly how much of these various areas will be, how much money they'll be giving you. Right now, it's not really a massive factor because, well, we've got no power. And we're not really in a rush to get power, to be honest, because we're not having to worry about any agents because we haven't captured the maid, who's still up here. So it's just a matter, really, of just getting the whole base built, really. We're going to sort of want to put the control thingy in here. So we might want to build that sort of like that. See? Put that in there. And so we can build that with sort of multiple of them. One thing you don't want to do, I was going to put like 1, 2, 3 there. If you have a space behind there, then enemy agents will tunnel in and pop out there and then start blowing shit up. So you really don't want that to happen. So you want to be careful about getting any kind of knotty sort of holes where nobody can get access to and all that kind of stuff. So what we need to do now is we need to move the gold briefcase to that location there. Now, once we've done that, we'll be able to delete this room. And then the pile of gold will transfer into this room, which is obviously a better situation. Now, let's see. One downside that you have with on this side, when you've got the doors there, if it's just one section, then it means that you end up have people on both sides of the door. But you can get rid of that by just putting speakers in there, and then it stops people just standing in front of on the other side of the door because it looks a tad ridiculous. But hey ho. So, there you go. You can see some minions getting set up. And you can see we can't afford some of these freezer racks because we don't have the money as of yet. So I think that's quite a good start as far as we're concerned for our first base on island number 1 in this new series of Evil Genius. So I hope you have enjoyed this new episode, and we shall be coming at you with more. What I'm going to be doing is you're going to see there's going to be like a little bit of progression between here and the next episode. So this will probably all be built, all this will probably all be done, and we'll have a decent amount of money in the bank. It's just there's no point showing that to you because it'll be dull as unbuttered toast. So there you have it. Anyway, thanks for watching, boys and girls. We'll see you next time.